Okay, we're live. Show's on.
Okay, so today is our episode number 5 of the Bootstrap Startup Show, and we have a new guest, Grigore Raileanu, who is a founder and CEO at Retently and PS Software. So it would be a very interesting episode because Retently is operating almost 5 years in this market, in this niche, and it's quite competitive market. So we want to talk about Grigore's journey, about his launch of Retently, about all the learnings, mistakes, pitfalls, etc., and figuring out how did he manage to grow his company. So first of all, thanks a lot for joining us today, Grigore. And in the beginning of every episode, we ask our guests to introduce themselves. So please share quickly who you are and what you do.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. And thank you, Andrei, Stefan, for inviting me here. I'm very excited about it. About me, I consider myself as a serial entrepreneur. So I started probably 3, 4, or 5 companies. I don't even know exactly, because there are very many. Some of them, or most of them, are failures. Still, there are few businesses I am proud of. Some of them even operating right now. So about Retently, I moved to US about 6 years ago, and in about 1 year since moving, I sold my company at the time. It was an auction doing a networking software optimization product. I was bored. I couldn't stay without doing anything. So immediately I started looking for other ideas worth pursuing. So I spent about half a year just figuring out different various ideas, talking to people, going to different conferences. And it's much better when you just go relaxed and you don't have to pitch anyone, get a booth over there, and that's hard work. So I was just enjoying myself, relaxed, and just talking to people, trying to get a new idea worth doing. So at that time, in 2015, customer success was a term which was just developing. It was just rising, and the leaders at that time were Gainsight, which is probably still the leader in the market, Totango, and some defunct now companies like Blue Nose Analytics. So I talked to about 40 people in the San Francisco Bay Area. Most of them were customer success or business executives, or even company founders or CEOs. I discussed about this problem of having a lot of data from various sources, and how dispersed is this data, and how great would it be to have it in one single place, and then compute it, do some math, some even machine learning, AI, and then get a customer health score based on that data. So after doing all these interviews for about 6 months, that was a lot, I decided it's worth starting customer success and creating a customer success platform. And my vision of it was to create it step by step. So first of all, we wanted to get NPS. That's a Net Promoter Score service. I think everyone already is aware how one such a survey looks like. It's just a question: how likely will you recommend our product or service on a scale from 0 to 10? And I think everyone is already sick of this kind of surveys because a lot of companies are doing them. So that was our first data point we wanted to collect, and then going to billing, to help desk, chat, and other customer interaction data. I think I didn't, at the time I started it, I haven't realized how complicated, how many resources you need in order to get all this data together. So we just creating the basic NPS took us about 1 year. So the product was, we started working on it in 2016. It was launched in 2017, some sort of MVP. We started acquiring customers, and probably our most important mistake we made is to create a product for everyone. I think a lot of entrepreneurs do this mistake. When you try to please everyone, you try to create a product to close any possible business case, and that was definitely wrong, because we created a big. Right now, our product is, I consider it very big. You can do a lot of it, but this adds a lot of complexity. So it's already complicated to do a self-service. So if someone wants to do one type of survey, there is a lot of settings, a lot of stuff just to be able to to create, or just to be able to execute his requirements, his model. That's probably one of the most important mistakes we did. Yeah. So right now, for the last 4 years, we are focused on NPS only. Just recently launched other types of customer surveys. So that's customer satisfaction surveys, 5-star surveys, customer report. So focusing on other metrics, going like more into the mid-market and not getting out of this SMB part.
That's quite interesting story. I wanted to ask you, you are operating in a very competitive market, and you have a strong competitor, Hotjar, who provides NPS feature for free. As well, Surveykate allows you to run NPS in their freemium version. And how do you motivate your users to pay for Retently?
Yeah, that's probably a problem with NPS for small companies, which consider it as nice to have, or maybe we run it once and then forget about it for the next year. But a lot of companies like Hotjar or even UserPilot, AppQs, they have an NPS, some sort of NPS, but it's just basic. So you can do this basic even with Zapier and the Google spreadsheet. So there is not a big deal. What we sell is the automations and the ability to export the data, the results back to your CRM, to your any other system you keep this data, like Segment, Stitch into your data warehouse, and so on. So Hotjar, what Hotjar does, it just shows the survey and returns you the basic amount of promoters, passives, and detractors. We, on the other side, we do a lot of feedback management features, like you can assign this feedback to someone, you can mark it as solved or unsolved, you can segment it, you can tag it, you can build this score based on a lot of attributes and a lot of customer tags, values, and so on. And I don't even consider Hotjar or AppQs our competitor in this due to this, because still mid-size or big companies, they know that you cannot get a single product with everything, so they are more look for advanced features, and instead of having everything in a single like Hotjar product, they get NPS with Retently, screen recordings with I don't know, User Story or Hotjar, and so on.
Got it. And then who do you consider as your main competitor?
So our main competitors right now are Ask Nicely, Woodrick, Promoter.io, Delighted. Most, like half of these companies, they are heavily funded. Like I think Ask Nicely got about $11 million in funding about 1 year ago. And then two of them, Delighted and Promoter.io, they've been acquired by big sharks in the industry. So that's Qualtrics and SAP. And then there is Medallia. It's kind of the product you go when you are a bank, and banks don't go to Retently. Instead, they go to Medallia and other huge companies. So they pay $1 million per year just to have the survey sent and analyzed.
Got it. And can you please share, why did you decide to penetrate into this saturated market? Because, like you just mentioned, several heavily funded competitors, lots of companies that provided these features for free. What was your, let's say, what was your idea and what was the edge of your product that motivated you to penetrate into it despite of this competition and saturation?
So yeah, our original idea was to do a customer success platform and have NPS only as a small part of it. But due to the complexity of this took into this NPS market for about 4 years. Now we are looking to expand into feedback analytics and going more into niches. We start getting B2C financial companies, healthcare services, big e-commerces. So we should probably expand further into these niches instead of keeping doing this survey product for everyone. That's our probably best strategy going further.
Got it. And once you just launched Retently, were you prospecting specific markets and industries, or you just launch it as a customer success platform that is a good fit for everybody who is doing client success?
Yeah, honestly, we started it as an NPS service. So our main distribution or our main acquisition channel is still content marketing. We spent a lot of resources in our blog. As you might see, we've got about 100 articles. I don't even know which topics we can cover in terms of NPS. Probably need to go deeply in feedback analytics, text analytics, going further. And then we spent a lot of effort in distributing this content. So right now it's going to LinkedIn, social media like Facebook, Twitter. At some point we used Q, the content distribution platform.
Yeah.
Yeah. Every time we launched a new article or revised an existing one, we've been doing some Facebook ads just to let people know that look, there is a new piece of content from Retently. And then what else?
Well,
yeah, we've got newsletters like going to our customers and so on.